Hello everyone, welcome to the Golden Plateau Sanctuary. It's a very big day today because first of all, we are opening the East Asian Gardens to the public so they can see the stuff we made last episode. And today we're having a special event for an aquatic event. So the UCZ recently started opening up separate standalone aquariums. So it didn't have to just be a zoo, you can just open up an aquarium. And for that, they asked several zoos to do an aquatic event where you educate the public with something relating to water or water animals, something along that line. So that's what I'm going to show off today. We have three sort of themes there. I'm going to show you each around the zoo. So one of our main themes, well actually our main theme out of the three themes is overexploitation of our wetlands, of our water resources. So we have one of our stands near by the Chinese giant salamander, since these are victim of overexploitation. In China they consider it a delicacy and they've been over-harvested because, I don't know, apparently they're tasty to eat, and now they're critically endangered. It's thought that 80% of their population has been wiped out since 1950. So that's why I wanted the Chinese giant salamander here for this event. We also have another stand by the African penguin, since they're also a victim to this. But we've been teaching people about whaling, which is killing whales for their meat and oil, which is still a big problem in this day and age. We also have some extra information for people on whales. And we got some posters on sharks. So shark finning is where people catch sharks, cut off their fins, and throw them back in the ocean. More often the sharks are still alive and thrown into the water and just drown because they can't move, they don't have any fins. It's very cruel, if you ask me. And honestly, I think that also needs to stop. So we also got some extra information just on general about sharks. So we're telling people to support companies that are against shark finning and whaling. But the main thing we try to focus on is overfishing, since most of these people can actually do something about overfishing. With overfishing, there's pretty much where there's overexploitation of the ocean, where people fish uncontrollably, fish populations get very badly damaged, they become endangered. Eventually, at the end of the day, the ocean's ecosystems are all out of whack. There'll pretty much practically no fish left, and the people will be hungry, all the fish will be dead. It's just a bad time for everyone. So I'm trying to raise awareness about overfishing. And what we've been recommending to people is the SASSI, which is a division of the WWF. The SASSI stands for South African Sustainable Seafood Industry. They have a nice little pamphlet and app telling you which fish you should and shouldn't eat when you go to a restaurant. So I'll leave a link for that in the description, maybe you can check it out. But it's pretty much a useful way for people to see like which fish products which seafood products they should support, which ones they shouldn't, and probably hopefully help out the populations for the fish, because that's something the normal person can do. Not like whaling, it's not like you can go out and stop a whaling expedition, but you can not order critically endangered fish. Another theme we have at our aquatic event
are aliens, not invasive species here. So we have some educators educating some guests, got some billboards up telling them about the invasive species you get in our wetlands that outcompete normal plants, and how encouraging guests to go to wetland cleanups. And also a reason I wanted the goldfish here for this event is because, well, goldfish are an invasive species, not in South Africa, but some countries like the US and I think Australia, maybe even, goldfish have been released into the wild and have just outdone the native wildlife and are an invasive species. So we're just encouraging guests not to throw their fish away in the rivers. Isn't really a problem in South Africa. Most of the invasive fish species are carps and bass that were released for people to just fish there. But
if anyone has a fish, they should not throw them into fresh water sources because they can be an invasive species and just outcompete the local wildlife and be a huge problem. Third theme is just dealing with general pollution. So we're encouraging guests not to litter, don't throw their stuff into the rivers and lakes. It makes the rivers and lakes look bad. We use the rivers and lakes, people use that, you're harming them, you're just making it a bad time for everyone. And if you can click on this video, you should know you shouldn't pollute. It really shouldn't have to be said, but it does. Don't litter. That's what we're trying to teach guests. So over at our penguin exhibit, we have another thing talking about overexploitation of the ocean. So we have some things on whaling, shark finning, and the overfishing. And regarding the SASSI sort of document telling you what fish you should and shouldn't eat, it is a South African thing, so I'm not sure how it applies to overseas, but still worth a check out, I think. So over here we have some educators telling people about penguins, because these African penguins have been affected by habitat destruction, but another thing was people were just taking their eggs and cooking them up, and that really left the population, kind of crippled the population. Another thing I believe was also the guano. People took the guano and that penguins used as insulation in their nests, so that also killed the chicks. So that's another example of overexploitation. The GPS restaurant. Let's see what's on the menu. Well on the menu today we have an interesting variety. We got plastic pudding, crude oil soup, and a sewage shake. Well, these aren't actual menu items, but we're just giving these menus out to people to kind of increase awareness of ocean pollution, of sewage, unfiltered sewage, crude oil spills, and just plastic that's dumped in the ocean. Well, anyway guys, that's it for this preservation of the world's wetlands and oceans and rivers event that we had at the GPS. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.